So let's go ahead and try solving some equations um, using radicals. So if we look at number 9 and number 10, we've got 4 times x to the 5th power equals 128. Now we just sort of focused on powers of 2 in unit 1 for the quadratics, but the process is still the same. We want to get whatever is being raised to the power by itself. So we need to get that x to the 5th by itself before we can actually undo or take care of the x to the 5th. So if it's 4 times that, we're going to divide both sides by 4. That will give us just x to the 5th. Equals 128 divided by 4 is 32. So now we're going to take the 5th root of both those sides. If it were the third root, or the third power, we take the third power. Taking the root undoes the exponent. So that's what I'm saying. If it were squared, we always took the square root. If it were to the 6th power, we take the 6th root. Just remember to do it on both sides. So over here on the left, we are left with just x, which is what we want. So the only thing we have to be careful with, guys, is remembering that if we take an even root, it's a positive or negative. But because 5 is odd, that means we only have a single answer. But if it were even, then we'd have positive or negative. And we just talked about using our power sheet, so the 5th root of 32 is 2. So you have to get whatever is being raised to the power by itself before you can undo the power. So if we go over here and look at number 10, the part being raised to the power is the entire expression x minus 3 to the 4th. So in this case, there actually isn't anything to remove before we can undo that power. So we're going to do that right now. So we're going to take, since it's a 4th root, or a 4th power, we're going to take the 4th root of both sides. That undoes the power, and you're left with just what is underneath. But over here, we have the positive and negative answer of whatever the 4th root of 21 is. So when we're taking the 4th root, we'll talk more about simplifying. In this case, we can't simplify because there's no perfect 4th roots within 21. So in this case, we don't have to worry too much about simplifying it, just remembering that there's 2 answers, but we are still trying to solve for x, so let's just bring that 3 over. So you can write this not as positive or negative 4th root of 24, because one's in a radical and one's not. It's just the 4th root of 21 plus 3. Don't combine them because they're not like terms. So instead of giving a decimal as an answer, we're just going to keep it in that radical form. So even root means positive and negative answers, 2 answers. So why don't you guys try number 11? Yes, it's a word problem, but all you guys are doing is taking this L here, means length. If you know that the coral cod weighs 200 grams, that's what you guys are putting in here for the weight, and you guys are going to solve for the length. So go ahead and try number 11.